Today, we are diving into something pretty wild. It's a new AI tool called Lovable, and it claims it can build a full-stack web app from just a single chat prompt. We're going to find out if it can actually pull it off.
So let me just start with this question. What if you could take a big idea for an app, a complex one, and have a real working prototype with actual code in less time than it takes to get a pizza delivered? That's the core promise here. And you got to admit, if it works, that's a total game changer.
And we're not just going to read you the marketing copy. Nope, we're following along with a real user who put Lovable to the test on a real-world project. We're going to see what worked, what completely broke, and what all of this really means for you.
Okay, first things first. What exactly is Lovable, and who's it even for? Let's break down the promise so we can see how the reality stacks up.
So, at its heart, Lovable is a full-stack AI development platform. The big idea is you get to skip staring at a blank screen or messing with clunky drag-and-drop builders. You just talk to it. You describe what you want in plain English, and the AI is supposed to generate a working app with real, editable code.
And who is this for? Well, it's actually a super wide net. You've got startup founders who need an MVP, like yesterday. You've got designers who want to bring mock-ups to life, even developers who just want to automate all that boring setup stuff. And of course, non-technical folks, product managers, pretty much anyone with an idea.
All right, let's get into the good stuff. We're going to walk through this user's very first experience building a genuinely complicated app from scratch. This is where the rubber meets the road. So, the whole journey started with the sign-up process. And the report back was that it was super smooth and, this is important, really low pressure. They didn't ask for a credit card up front. You just do a quick email verification, answer a couple of questions, and boom, you're in the main dashboard, ready to go.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The user didn't start small with like a Hello World app. No, they went all in. They asked for a complex client portal and invoicing app with user roles, payments, a back-end database, the whole shebang. This was a serious stress test right from the very beginning.
And check this out. The AI didn't just stumble. It actually analyzed that huge prompt, recognized it needed a real database and user authentication, and it proactively said, hey, to build this, you need to connect to Supabase. It even gave a direct link to the docs. Pretty smart. So once that Supabase backend was connected, the AI went to work. And what it spit out was this fully formed, really professional-looking landing page for an app it decided to call Invoice Pro. And this wasn't just a picture. It was a real, structured project with actual React and TypeScript code running everything.
I mean, look at what it built. It had a header with navigation, a big hero section, a feature section with nicely designed cards, a 3-tier pricing table, even call-to-action buttons and a proper footer. This looked and felt like a real product that honestly would have taken a person days to build from nothing.
And here it is, the most stunning part of this whole initial build. The speed. The user went from that super detailed text prompt to a functioning, fully coded landing page in under 10 minutes. That's not just a small improvement, that's an insane leap in efficiency.
Okay, let's keep going because a pretty landing page is one thing, right? A real app has to handle complex logic. So the next step was to see how Lovable deals with logical problems and even errors.
To do this, the user gave the AI a prompt that was deliberately contradictory. On the one hand, they asked for strict roles and permissions. But on the other hand, they said, oh, and also just let everyone edit everything. A smart system should probably catch that and ask for clarification, right? Well, Lovable didn't question it at all. It took both conflicting commands at face value and just tried to generate the code. And this is a really crucial insight. These tools are incredible at synthesis, at putting things together, but they're not quite there on reasoning. It just didn't get the contradiction. And, as you'd probably guess, the code it generated led to a big ol' error. But here's the twist, and this part is awesome. The error wasn't a dead end. Lovable actually flagged the exact issue and gave a little try to fix button. With one click, the AI analyzed its own mistake, figured out what was wrong, and generated the correct code to fix it. So the lesson here is that while you still need to be the brains of the operation, the AI is a ridiculously powerful assistant for building and for fixing its own mistakes. So we've seen it build, we've seen it break, and we've seen it fix itself. But how do you actually take control and make the thing your own? Well, Lovable offers a few different paths.
You've got this really flexible workflow here that kind of works for everyone. There are basically 3 ways to customize. You can just keep chatting with the AI,
change the theme to dark mode. Or you can use a visual editor that feels a lot like Figma to click and tweak things. And for the pros, you can just sync the whole project to GitHub and get your hands dirty in the code yourself.
Okay, so let's get down to it. After all this testing, is Lovable the right tool for your project? Let's break down the final verdict and see who this is really for.
When you put it side by side with a competitor like Bolt.new, the difference is crystal clear. Lovable is all about that chat-based experience for people who might not be hardcore coders. Bolt.new, on the other hand, is built for developers. It gives them a full code editor right in the browser to work with what the AI spits out. Two different philosophies.
So let's just sum it all up. The pros: the onboarding is a breeze, it generates real, modern code, and the integrations with Supabase and Stripe are solid. The cons? Well, the code editor is read-only on the free plan, and like we saw, the AI will happily accept contradictory instructions, so you've got to watch out for that.
So the final verdict after this whole deep dive? Lovable seems like a fantastic fit for non-technical founders, for designers, and for any team that just wants to go from idea to a working prototype as fast as humanly or AI-ly possible.
And that really brings us back to where we started. With tools like this popping up, that giant wall between having an idea and actually building it is getting smaller and smaller every day. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is your next big idea just one really good prompt away from becoming real?